She fired a bullet at my baby and called it a compliance drill. Are you out of your goddamn mind, Triona? I didn't shout. I didn't move. I just stood there, right over the splintered beam at the Tarawak Pavilion, staring at the blackened wood where a live round had cracked through, 4 inches from my daughter's skull. Across from me, dusting off her stupid little HOA badge like she was some kind of authority, stood Triona Halvoran, Arcadia Bluff's own neighborhood president, cool as an undertaker. The firearm was discharged during an approved community safety demonstration, she said, sounding like Siri reading from the world's worst script. Per Section 14. 6 live fire events are permitted under a registered supervisory adult. Her adult was Aldrich, her 18-year-old son, who was, right at that moment, reholstering a pistol with his finger still jammed inside the trigger guard. Nope, I said, stepping toward her. Your demo roster ended last Friday. Aldrich was never listed, and community law says any unauthorized discharge in a family zone wipes out Clause 14(6) entirely. What I didn't tell her, what she was already realizing, was I had more than timestamps. I had angle vectors, latency decay, thermal pings off my own drone, a trajectory map straight from duty-certified software. This wasn't a fence height spat or mailbox paint drama. This was a bullet. And that stroller was mine. I want you to think about this. Last time the Arcadia Bluffs HOA tried to sweep a firearm incident under the rug, nobody had the data to fight back. This time, I do. And if they're smart, they'll run before the server pings back. My name is Corvindra, I said, calm. I'm a precision tooling analyst, former ballistics calibrator for the Department of Defense. I built pattern recognition systems for military fire diagnostics. I don't speculate. I measure. And right then Triona blinked. Just once. I didn't need her to confess. I needed her to underestimate me long enough for this to go public. That beam, splintered now, was the backdrop for our last real family photo, the first one since Sparrow died. Sparrow, our first child, passed during a blackout, apnea monitor lost power, backup generator failed, 1 missed inspection. We buried a 3-month-old in a neighborhood that promised premium protection. City never even looked at the override form. So when we moved to Arcadia Bluffs, it was for one reason, safety. Not for the damn bake-offs or trail views. We just wanted a breezy, shaded zone where our newborn could nap. No sirens, no allergens, no power grid nonsense. The Tarawak Pavilion was supposed to mean peace. Now there was a bullet hole through the railing. Isla, my wife, was crouched beside the stroller, lips pressed to our daughter's forehead. Like holding her close could unhear that sound, unfeel that metal. She trains federal snipers for a living. But in that moment, she wasn't an instructor. She was just a mom, reliving every frame of our last nightmare. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't training oversight. It was negligence, wrapped in HOA letterhead, glued together by parental immunity. Triona didn't see danger. She saw optics, liability, charter clauses she could edit mid-meeting and call it precedent. Not this time. The moment Aldrich pulled that trigger, and my daughter cried out, I started logging, mapping, uploading. That data was safe, 3 encrypted folders, mirrored servers way outside this HOA's reach. She could erase footage, spin phrases, but she couldn't argue with slope ratio and powder decay. You're going to hear from risk compliance, I said. Not the sheriff, not the board, all investigators. Triona's smile didn't reach her eyes. We'll see what holds up. We will. As she turned away, leaving my wife pale and shaking, arms wrapped around our kid, I made the one decision that changed everything. I'd already lost one daughter to a system that failed her. I wasn't about to lose another. Just because a woman thought her HOA badge trumped a trigger pull. By morning the bullet hole was gone. HOA maintenance crew rolled up before dawn. No notice, no report. Replaced the whole support beam. Fresh pine, clean sealant. No sign of the splintered wood or powder burn. Didn't even cordon it off. Triona's strategy wasn't to deny it happened. It was to erase it so thoroughly, nobody could prove it ever did. The HOA had played this game before. Dog mauled at the pool, toddler broke her wrist behind the tennis courts. Nothing existed unless it was in their meeting minutes. If it wasn't in the minutes, it didn't happen. That afternoon, a formal notice showed up on our door. Hostile behavior, citation 11C2. Aggressive posturing during safety events. It claimed I verbally escalated a peaceful demonstration and intimidated the supervising party, Aldrich Halvoran, the boy who just fired a gun near my baby, now officially the supervising party. The same notice demanded we remove all military-adjacent storage from viewable zones. Our gate was closed, lockers locked, but somehow the HOA had made us the threat. Not surprising. I'd lived under regimes like this, burying harm under paperwork, throwing up community harmony banners. Triona ran Arcadia Bluffs like a brand, not a neighborhood. A squeaky clean image with no space for things that bled or cried. The citation was dated 2 hours before I even submitted my incident report to the county's risk compliance portal. They were moving fast, flipping the narrative before truth could breathe. Aya hadn't left the nursery all day, feeding our daughter in silence, eyes glued to the light monitor, like daring it to fail again. "She's okay," I said. Aya didn't answer. She wasn't mad at me, but her fingers clenched the blanket, shoulders hunched in, trying to compress herself so small nobody would notice. That was the look she wore the day after Sparrow died. Not grief, not rage, just stillness. I put the HOA citation on the dresser. She read it, breathed out, a sound halfway between a sigh and a choke. "They're coming for us," she said. "No," I said. "They're trying to make us back down. But this time we've got more than they do." I didn't say it, but I knew what she was really afraid of. Not Triona, not the board, but that same powerlessness from before. The silence, the too late apologies. Arcadia Bluffs had promised safety and order, but safety for who? When Aldrich fired that trigger, nobody checked on my daughter. Nobody asked for the weapon. The residents just looked away. Eyes down, HOA loyalty over moral clarity. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just a cover-up. This was a pattern, one the whole neighborhood knew but nobody spoke about. That evening, outside by the gate, a neighbor, Farron I think, paused as she passed. "You're not the first," she whispered. "Just the loudest." Didn't ask her to explain. I just nodded. Sun dropped behind the ridge, shadows stretching. Triona could bury wood, paint over facts, but she couldn't erase the curve of a bullet's path once measured. And I'd already measured it. Next morning, Nail Brinley showed up, clipboard, orange vest, fake smile. Routine safety inspection. Quarterly checklist. Nothing personal. I held the gate open, coffee in hand. "Didn't know HOA inspections started with cited properties," I said. Nail flinched barely, but I caught it. He wasn't enforcing policy. He was damage control. Nail, the board's numbers guy, didn't bend under threats. He bent when the math stopped adding up. As he left, he mumbled, "People are afraid, you know how Triona gets when things spiral." That's exactly why I wasn't backing down. Back inside, Isla was on the nursery floor, our daughter asleep in her arms. "They sent Nail," I said. "To fix it or hide it?" "Both. He's scared." "He should be." I watched them, how she held our child, how she rocked steady. This wasn't about proving a point. This was about stopping the next bullet. If Aldrich had aimed lower, we'd be planning a funeral. Triona would still be citing policy. That night I fired up my old DoD laptop, checked the trajectory map, blueprints, Nail's logs. Small discrepancy, 47 minutes between inspection and beam removal. That's all you need, just a crack. Next day, another violation zip-tied to our mailbox. Unauthorized equipment in view. No open crates, no gear, just a pretext. This wasn't enforcement. It was pressure. "They're building a case," Aya said. "To make us look unstable, aggressive, textbook HOA playbook." That afternoon, Harold Blake, committee rep, paint thinner smell, neon wheel, came to verify setback compliance. "No other house got this. Just following directives," he said. Board vote was unanimous. Even Nail. That stung. Inside, I checked every blueprint, every measurement. Then I found it, citation code 17.2.9b, not in our charter. Board had updated the PDF 4 days ago, slipped in a clause about viewable zones, redefined to mean whatever we say is visible. They weren't punishing us for what was in our yard, they were punishing Aya for who she was. A federal sniper trainer, someone who knew safety. They couldn't discredit the facts, so they attacked optics. I documented every line of sight, every wall, every shadow. If they wanted to play visual games, I'd bury them in numbers. That night I flew my micro-drone manual low silent. Traced the bullet's path again. The new beam was there, clean wood, but the soil still showed a dark oval powder and sap. I triggered thermal, found a cold spot residual signature, matching my data. Proof not theory. That morning I filed a full compliance report, maps, overlays, logs, GPS, everything. Case opened. I didn't sleep. By dawn the neighborhood walked dogs like nothing happened. But I knew the risk team was coming. Aya saw me working. They'll try to twist anything vague, I said. She nodded. I used to tell recruits, perfection isn't required, just alignment. If your breathing, your scope, and your hand are aligned, the shot carries itself. Sometimes it has to be perfect so they can't move it. We watched Aldrich outside, slamming his soccer ball against the garage, his arrogance breaking, sensing the lie unraveling. By afternoon the county confirmed, they were coming. Real investigators, not clipboards and fake smiles. When the mail came it was a board letter, accusing me of privacy violations for gathering visual data. New rule retroactive, same playbook. They wanted me scared. But what they didn't get was that line, the one where fear beats justice. I crossed it the second my daughter screamed. At 7:13 p.m., Nail knocked. No vest, just him, hands deep in his coat. Can we talk? We stood by the fence, wind low. I didn't sign off on that new clause. She slipped it in after the vote. She's escalating, Nail. She doesn't plan for resistance. She just pushes until people fold. And if they don't, they get removed. Citations build up, fines double, contractors ghost you. You sell or get bought out. He looked exhausted. I tried to resign after Aldrich fired that shot. She said I'd destabilize the board. But what happened to your daughter? That was it for me. He gave me a flash drive, timestamp backup footage from his own camera. Shows Aldrich, shows the shot, shows the beam swap. I don't want credit. But if she drags me down, I need someone to know I didn't authorize this. I took it. You just watched it happen, I said. He didn't argue. After he left, I sat in the dark staring at that flash drive. Not because I doubted him, but because I knew plugging it in meant action, not just prep. When the house was quiet, I checked the file, angle, clarity, timecodes, Aldrich firing, the maintenance van, the whole cover-up. It matched my map, my numbers, my proof. The next morning, I sent it all, county portal affidavit, a grid overlay tying timecodes, drone logs. Sent to Dr. Foreign ballistics specialist too. Margin of error under 2%, he replied. Not stray fire, reckless discharge toward a family area. Will certify if needed. Now I had everything: verification, timestamps, concealed maintenance, witness. That night Aya was cleaning bottles. They have everything now, I said. You okay? She shook her head, eyes sharp. I've trained people to breathe through sniper fire, but I couldn't even move when our baby cried. You did move, I said. You shielded her. Too late. No. On time. She just wiped her hands. I showed her the trajectory map, the evidence, the still frame. This is what we use. Not grief. Not memory. This. I want to show them, she said, meaning the investigators, what the angle looked like, what the safety protocols would have stopped. She was ready. That night I prepped the garage, every metric, every angle, a courtroom in miniature. Isla laid out her old training gear, vest and all. It's not about intimidation, she said. It's about control. If they trust what they see in the setup, they'll trust the rest. We built a demo dummy rig, impact marker, laser guide, track simulation. Every test matched the stroller position. No guesswork, just fact. I filed our exhibit with risk compliance, included Nail's statement. 4 hours later, certified for on-site review. Board notified, review window locked. Triona couldn't bury it now without triggering a county audit. Next evening, while Aya took our daughter to the park, I walked the ridge, saw Triona flanked by board members, huddled in crisis. Didn't matter, she was too late. The inspection team showed up in an unmarked sedan. 2 county officers, 1 DA rep. No small talk. I walked them through every piece, angle overlays, logs, footage. I explained safety, recoil, risk. They took their own measurements. Where's the original beam? Disposed, HOA maintenance under termite pretense. But here's the log and the footage. Any known resistance on the board? I handed them Nail's statement. When they finished, we walked the pavilion. County officers marked the replaced beam. As we left, Triona was there, sunglasses, arms crossed, silent. For once, nobody asked her anything. Triona called an emergency board meeting. Posted it like a routine update, careful wording. Neighbors messaged me, rumors flying, lawsuits, sabotage, weaponizing sympathy. Triona's last card. Smear, isolate, play the victim. Only this time the evidence screamed louder than gossip. I addressed in her vest. No makeup, no stagecraft, just calm. Let her bury herself first, she said. At the pavilion the crowd was split. Some nodded, some turned away. Triona took the mic. A recent demonstration caused discomfort, boards taking steps for safety. All vague, no apology. Anyone presenting unverified material will be in violation. I stepped forward. Verified materials already submitted. County certified. Heads turned. Triona froze. Which clause lets an unsupervised minor fire a gun on HOA property? Isla showed the trajectory analysis, time-stamped footage, county's non-compliance acknowledgement. My daughter was 11 months old when a bullet passed 4 inches from her head. The HOA president erased the evidence and blamed us. We're not here for revenge. We're here to end the silence. No one yelled. No one defended Triona. For the first time, the pavilion fell silent. Officer Tolan arrived. We're here to deliver an enforcement notice regarding breach of safety oversight, falsification of records, non-disclosure of a weapons incident. The words hit hard. A preliminary investigation is underway. Emergency resident vote for board suspension authorized. Ballots passed. Triona tried to object. Tolan shut her down. You signed the acknowledgement. This is certified. 35 out of 39 households voted for immediate suspension. Power didn't fall in a scream. It cracked in the silence after truth. Triona tried to speak. Aldrich tugged her sleeve. Let's go. For once she listened. Nail stepped forward. I'll assume interim oversight until the investigation ends. My door is open. Some people clapped, real, not celebratory. On our way home, Farron stopped us. You were right to fight back. We've been afraid for too long. You don't have to be anymore, Aya said. 2 days later, the county letter arrived. HOA board dissolved, Triona resigned, Aldrich under weapons discharge protocol. The pavilion was quiet, like the whole place finally exhaled. Nail brought a draft for a new charter, transparency, audits, a 3-strike abuse system. The beam was replaced again, this time with a metal plate. Sparrow's watch, in memory of what nearly happened, in gratitude for what didn't. Aya just stood there, our daughter asleep, one hand on the beam. That night we sat on the porch. No lights, no forms, just quiet. I thought it would feel louder, I said. She smiled. No, loud is for when nobody hears you. This is what it sounds like when you're finally heard. Arcadia Bluffs wasn't perfect, but it was ours again. So tell me, what would you do if your HOA tried to erase the truth? Where do you draw the line between silence and justice? Drop your stories below and hit subscribe, because next time the HOA president accuses my wife of sabotage, not knowing she built their whole security system. Trust me, you'll want to see how that one ends. 4.